You see that shit somebody did on Twitter? Some comic dude got mad at me. It was because I was talking to Gavin about gay people. We were talking about not even gay people. We were talking about specific incidences that have been in the news, like Milo Yiannopoulos having that thing fall out from under him because he said like it's acceptable for older men. He was essentially saying it's acceptable for older men to have sex with younger guys,
13-year-old boys.
And they were talking about George Takei, who talked about that as well. It happened to him at summer camp. Like some older dude had sort of busted moves on him and jerked him off and shit. And it was pleasurable and he enjoyed it. And we were talking about it like, wow, it's like it's an intense subject. This guy got upset that we were talking about it without a gay perspective. I think it was
so you're
really
not allowed to speak about it?
Attention
trying
whoring.
to figure it out?
I think it was attention whoring, and maybe he just saw the green light to be upset, and so he went for it. But it wasn't rational.
A comic?
Yeah. Guy Branum, is that his name? Whatever. We worked it out online. He was friendly afterwards, and he apologized, and I apologized.
Right.
It was one of those things where it's like people, though, they tend to feel like they're allowed to get upset if you're talking about something that you don't have experience with.
I know.
Even if it's something in the news.
But you can't discuss it.
It's ridiculous.
Right. You're not allowed to try and figure it out.
Well, that's
what learning is. That's what learning is, coming from something that you don't know anything about and asking questions and having a discussion about it.
That's when you know something's bullshit, when you're not allowed to talk about it. You're not even allowed to talk about it?
Right.
You can't discuss even politely?
Right.
You can't respectfully talk about it. Well, then your thing is bullshit.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, you have no argument. You have no side.
Well, there's always this thing, right, and it's this is a big thing in certain circles when it comes to disenfranchised people, or you hear when it comes to gender and sex, you hear it like, you should, like, that's one of the wonderful things that male feminists love to say. They love to say, just shut up and listen to the women. You need to shut up and listen to the women. Well, that's crazy. You should never shut up, because even if you're being respectful, if someone says something and you'd like them to clarify, or you're confused, or maybe you have some information that they might not be aware of that might change their thought on things, like being engaged in a conversation with someone is not necessarily a negative thing, but everyone is assuming that if you're not a girl, you shouldn't talk about girl issues. Well, that's crazy.
Right. You shouldn't have any perspective.
If
you're not part of the world.
If you're not a girl, if you're not a guy, if you're not your if you're not straight, if you're not, you shouldn't talk about it.
So what you're saying when you're asking people not to talk about it is you're saying this would be better if your whole part of the population stays ignorant of what's going on, and
or
we
just listen,
and we just stay where we are.
Just listen. I'll tell you.
Right.
You just listen. I'll tell you.
Right.
That's crazy.
That's completely insane.
Well, it's a power thing. Is what it is. And when certain things develop too much social clout, when subjects hit like this critical mass of social clout, or like when the whole Bruce Jenner thing was going on, when you had to say that she was beautiful, and you had to say that you accepted it, and you had to say it was amazing. It's like, wasn't she just a fucking Kardashian just a little while ago? Isn't this a ridiculous, insane family? And wasn't this guy like the dumbest one on the show? Like, what just happened? Didn't this guy just push a lady into traffic with his car because he wasn't paying attention and killed her? And we don't pay attention to that, but we pay attention to this whole gender change. It's gonna make you give a pass to all that other behavior, and it'll make you seem like a really progressive and open-minded person if you say all the right things. Tom Papa, what's your opinion?
Let me just say, I think she's very brave and she's beautiful.
And a hero.
But,
she's a hero.
And a hero.
Hero.
You know what I kept doing with my daughters to drive them crazy? They're 11 and 14. We're watching the Oscars. Anyone that came on that was a little chubby, male or female, I would just say, oh my God, look at him. He's so brave. Look at her. She's so brave.
My 5-year-old.
Dad, that's just a new way to say you think she's fat. No, I think, look at that. I mean, she's wearing that dress on TV. Dad.
My 5-year-old doesn't give a fuck. My 5-year-old, she's 6 now, but when she was 5, she was watching Caitlyn Jenner, my youngest, I should just say. She was watching Caitlyn Jenner on TV, and she goes, Daddy, why does that man wear a dress and makeup like that? She's like shaking her head. She goes, why does that man wear a dress and makeup like that? I go, I don't know. That's how she identifies. That's a she now. She turns from a man into a woman. And she just looked at me and she just like leaned her head back and raised her eyebrows and left. She walked away. I was like, that kid she left the room. She just left the room. She's like, bitch, please. Without saying it, she said, bitch, please. She pulled her chin closer to her chest, lifted her eyebrows up, and then just the fuck out of here. You just told me that man turned into a woman. I know it's a man. I'm looking at her. It's a man.
Daddy.
And she's like, Daddy, why does a man have a dress on and makeup? And I was like, well, she used to be a man, but she became a woman.
I like her walking out of the room is kind of blaming you too. Like, all you adults are a mess.
She's like, you are retarded. That can't even happen. I'm 6 and I know it can't happen. Or 5 at the time.
Daddy, I'm not stupid.
Oh, you think I'm stupid, okay? Yeah, this is some Santa Claus bullshit. You're fucking running by me. Like I'm supposed to think the tooth fairy comes in and sneaks money under my seat. The whole thing is it is
so funny. I mean, that is a big part of what the election was about. Like talking, you making us say and think things, or just letting things be real.
Well, it goes in cycles. We go one way and we go the other way.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it is. It's just like we got tired of people going so hard politically correct. But you see how there's progress in that, like we were talking about the kids in school.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you can't I mean,
that's good.
People would walk into our schools. Kids would walk up to other kids that were kind of slow. What are you, retarded?
Yeah.
Like right to their face. Look at him. He's a sped. He's retarded. That doesn't exist anymore. And
I think it still exists. It just exists less and not where your kids go to school. In comparison to where you go to school. I mean, I bet if you're in LA Unified and you're hanging out in Compton, I bet you see some bad shit in school.
Yeah,
There's probably
There's
probably some bad shit still going on in a lot of schools. A lot of kids are getting bullied, and people understand the consequences of that now. Like you're scared to go to class because someone's going to hit you. Scared to go to class, someone's beating you.
But bullying was just part of life. It wasn't bullying. It was just life back then.
But it was bullying, and it did ruin people's lives.
It did, but nobody called it out. No adult would help you out with it.
No.
It's just the way it went.
You had to learn how to take care of shit.
And everyone was being bullied by somebody else. It was it was dog eat dog. It was.
Yep.
You know, I don't know. I think that you're right. I mean, the politically correct thing, it swings that way, and you're left with some good stuff, and everybody adjusted. And then it goes too far, and you start to go after things that don't affect a lot of people. Yeah. And then people get fed up by it.
Well, the thing is, those people that go too far with all that politically correct stuff, they're almost always emotionally unbalanced. So given enough time, they will reveal themselves to be either crazy or power hungry or like really like there's a big part of that whole social justice warrior movement is really about shaming people, like expressing anger, attacking people,
gaining power,
punching people that disagree with you, like punch fascists, punch Nazis, like be aggressive about it, and that somehow or another this is a good thing, as if because they're so delusional and so detached from real physical violence that they have this idea that you're just going to go out there and push these people and take back. No, they're going to show up with guns, you fuck.
Yeah.
Like this is how wars get started. People escalate, you try to control people, you push too far, you're not kind. Instead, you're shaming people, you're creating bad feelings and aggression. Like they've got this juvenile idea about confrontation that it just goes out there and it never comes back to you. It always comes back to you.
Good luck. Yeah. Good
luck. It comes back. It comes back.
Yeah. No, it's people are, I think, striving for kindness is a good thing. I really think that trying to be nice to people, there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
But then if you're trying to be so nice that now you're the aggressor, you've gone over the side of the cliff.
100%. And that's what happens. That's what people do. They go so far left, they go around the fucking equator, and they wind up on the right.
Yeah.
I mean, it just happens. You become a fascist to fight off the fascists. That's what happens.
Round and round they go.
And the people that are effective with it, one of the things that's happening is they outdo each other, they feed off of each other, they play to each other, they're playing to the room, and they ramp it up. So they know that there's other people that agree with them, and then they see how far they can take it, and the further you can take it, like, oh my God, Mike is so hardcore. Well, he's not as hardcore as Paul. Paul's out there struggling. He's in Guatemala right now. You know what I mean? It's like they push so hard on like this social justice front that they're like doing it for each other and impressing each other and impressing these communities of people that get together. And then somewhere along the line, they forget how cruel they're being to people who disagree with them.
Yeah.
They're being vicious and nasty, and they're trying to shame people and write blogs about them and attack them in videos, and they do not realize that while they're doing this, they're just setting a process in motion that is unavoidable. You're putting out negative, and it's going to come back.
Right.
And you, not only that, you're going to feel personally the effects of all that stuff. Like when you're shitting on people and you ruin someone's life with some hate blog or something like that, and then that person attacks you, and
toxic.
Yeah, and people are going to know that you did that, so they're going to want to come back to you.
Right.
They're going to feel that you put something out there, so they're going to root for something to come back your way. Like,
I don't know how people survive that way. I really
their
don't.
Game. That's their game because they don't
gross.
have real physical conflict.
Yeah,
so
I think
their
they
conflict
probably
becomes that.
They probably came from families where they like to fight a lot, and it was like they're kind of built for that. There's no sensitivity to.
They get programmed.
Yeah. It's a strange existence.